So I'm naming this one Entity Exiting. Okay, it's extra occurrences in brackets, or even extra occultances. Um, yeah, so just a few that I missed from the last. Um, Nothing necessarily new because I have exited my demons. Um, but there's two in particular that I wanted to get in there, and um, maybe at the time it was best I didn't, or they might have got back into me. Um, on top of that, there was a photograph of the demonic entity that I personally believe is trapped within my television. I mentioned this in entity entry. Um, it didn't come out too well when I tried to show it to the camera. You know, nothing special. Next one will be on its way soon. New cam. This is just a poxy little HP laptop one, hence the bad quality. Um, However, hopefully the content will be good quality. Um, I said that I would show you all some photographs of this demon, this entity, which I will in just a moment. But first of all, the two that I overlooked, I've been looking over, and I realise they are just as important as the ones previously mentioned. So first of all, as I've said before, my father passed away when I was 5, and he was my role model even at that age. Um, he was a bass player himself, and the first time I picked up a bass after trying guitar, drums, even vocals, it just felt right, almost hereditary. Um, so yeah, I usually have him in the background on my wall in my videos because I feel it gives me the strength that I need. Like he's looking, I won't say looking down. Don't think it's about direction, but certainly with me on the front, you know, fighting the front, at the front with me. So, to the point, he left me um, a St. Christopher medallion that I tied on a very strong leather rope. And as I mentioned in the video, um, from a sinner to a saint, um, the last time that I got intoxicated with alcohol, it took over me as it has taken over me in the past many a time. Um, you can say it's a bad drunk thing. I know a lot of people have that in women as well as men. Um, and I've had that myself, but this was different. I'll be so calm and collected, and um, out of nowhere, it would take hold of me, and that's why I quit. I have an ale every now and then, but it's usually a half pint and no more than that, and um, very spaced out from the last and the next. Um, but when I did drink, I passed out. My partner tried to tuck me in with the cover, and I can remember her waking me up from another night terror to go with the rest that I have said in the previous installment. Um, yeah, this night terror consisted of me being dissected by an enclave, a tribe, a grouping of demonic entities, and they were torturing me in all different ways, and I couldn't move. So I suppose from all that struggle of wanting to get out of not only the contraption they tied me down to, but also out of the night terror itself, when she went to tuck me in, I didn't even realise where I was, and I certainly didn't realise who she was, and I could still see them, and I screamed at her, I shouted at her, and I cursed at her, thinking she was it, as I've said. Um, I never ever want to make her feel like that again, or myself for that matter, which is why I've stopped becoming under the influence of alcohol. Anything else on top as well, if you know what I mean. It's all the same shit. It's all an entry point for these germs, spiritual, you know. So yeah, I woke up next morning, well, late afternoon, felt like shit in every single sense of the word, with every single sense that I had, and I looked over and I saw my father's medallion was laying on the bed when it usually be round my neck, underneath my head, and the lever had been snapped, but not where it had been joined. And as I say, it was thick rope, thick leather, deliberately, specifically. And no, somewhere a bit further down on the lever, just snapped. Okay, now you can say I did it in the struggle of waking up and being overtaken by whatever it was, take me in the nightmare, but I don't believe it was. And at first, I felt negative from the fact that it had been snapped, but then it kind of hit me once I made up with my woman. She mentioned that maybe it's a sign of breaking, I don't know, kind of breaking the bond, me following his footsteps. I mean, I have a certain illness which was also inherited by him, and for a long time with the smoking and the drinking, which is what affects this illness, um, I was following in his footsteps. There's nothing wrong with doing that with someone you admire, but if you do it too much, you end up sharing the same fate. And I need to break that chain, and I think that might have been metaphoric of that to a certain extent, you know.